Alright, YouTube, it's been a long while since I put my voice on this channel and I've done anything relevant at all on this channel. Well, actually, I've never done anything relevant on this channel, but that's a story for another day. There's going to be more after this, but right now we need to talk about the Marvel Rivals $40,000 Kingsman tournament situation. Not because it's the most important thing in the world, it's obviously not, but because the reaction to it tells you exactly what kind of gaming community we are dealing with. Let me get this out of the way early. I'm not here for bad faith bullshit. Toxicity in games is childish, always has been. I've never been one of those you wouldn't survive in a COD lobby dudes, but I was in those lobbies as a kid, getting called all kinds of garbage. And yeah, you learn to talk back, you learn to mute, you learn to move on. The situation's a little bit different though because there's money on the line, but at the end of the day, surviving something doesn't magically make it okay. And what's wild to me is that I've heard you wouldn't survive COD lobbies way more than I've ever heard people actually stand up for someone getting bullied in a video game. I've heard that way more than I've heard people defend Kingsman even. And I've heard that more than I've heard people defend anyone for that matter. You guys always say just to mute. You guys always say it's just games, it is what it is. You guys always tell women that when they're getting bullied all the time to mute and report. That is all you tell them to do. Now, I'm not here to white knight for women. I'm just here to acknowledge that this is selective outrage. Before people start lying about what I'm trying to say, let me be clear about the game itself because I actually play and I really do want to touch on this. This is the one part where I feel like there needs to be nuance in the conversation regarding what Kingsman told the Black Widow. I play meta characters, I play non-meta characters. My best character is actually a non-meta character, Wanda. So when someone tells me to swap, because I play Wanda, they tell me to swap or they'll throw, by the way. I don't immediately do it just because they say so. There's pride there. If I make a bad character look good, I'm riding with that, and that's what I'm gonna do. But if I'm playing like dog shit, like doo-doo butter, I will swap, no problem. Zaza should have swapped, period. 0 and 5 is 0 and 5. Kingsman was right about that. But here's the part that people keep bullshitting about. There is no DPS in this game that survives a clean 2-man dive without help. None. Wanda, she's a great anti-dive. She's not surviving by herself. She's dead. Namor, the Squids, obvious, the most famous anti-dive for DPS characters. Dead. Bucky, another famous anti-dive character, overshield on every fucking skill. Overtuned ass character, he's still dead if he's by himself. We've seen him lose 1v1s against dives. Okay, let's be real. If Spider-Man and Black Panther are on you, you're cooked. If Venom and Daredevil's on you, you're cooked. It doesn't matter. Whatever combination of two dive DPS, you're fucked. That's not an opinion. That's just how team games work. So yeah, maybe he could have went Bucky and like survived just a tiny bit better, but he's not. Zaza was not ever going to have a good game. Zaza was never going to have a good game being focused by 2 or more people. They actively tried to shut her down. I'm not defending her because Black Widow is not that good against more than one dive. That's obvious. Bucky is a better pick, but she still would have got cooked. Period. So yeah, Kingsman was right about the swap in general. He was right about the outcome. He was a good player. He deserves viewership off of his skill alone. He's nice at the game, and I'm not mad at him for capitalizing on this situation. He needed the money. That's good for him. This video is not even an attack on him or his argument with the swap. Like I said, overall the result was she needed the swap, even though I partially disagree with a character handling that situation so much better that it would have been worth the swap. Like she was going to get fucked no matter what. Anyways, this video is an attack on people pretending they suddenly care about toxicity, because you don't. Not like you're pretending to right now anyways. Selective outrage has been a problem forever, but gaming communities are the worst place to pretend that you suddenly have morals. Gamers are hypocrites, the biggest hypocrites that I could think of in media. And yes, most people are hypocrites, but gaming communities are special about it. Here's how it works. People only get attacked when there's something to gain. When they're visible, when there's clout, likes, or more points attached. Random players, faceless. There's no payoff, no pile on. That's why the bulk of toxicity goes untouched. And don't tell me that those people don't have anything to lose. I'm talking about the faceless bullies that's on the internet every single day in your Marvel Rival games that's telling you to kill yourself. They have things to lose, okay? They have jobs, they have families, they have lives. The difference is that you don't get anything from attacking them the way that you're attacking streamers. Okay, when there's a streamer, when it's a tournament going on, when devs are tagged and tweets are flying, suddenly everyone is brave. Or suddenly everyone cares. Everyone wants to be righteous. Everyone is trying to be the good guy. I'm watching people flood Marvel Rivals promo posts for Luna, her skin anniversary or whatever the fuck going on, demanding bans over these girls. They're demanding bans for them. They're threatening boycotts, calling for terminations, all type of shit. And I'm sitting here like, where the fuck were you when there were throwers in my match? Calling me monkey, the hard R. People who, if I did not get off of Wanda, they were going to go, ironically, on Widow and fuck up my game. And not just throwers, it's people being racist in general. People saying the most horrid shit to me when they don't even know me. Where is this energy? Because I can't say where was the energy, because it's not just these times. I'm not the only one. Where is this energy in totality? Every time I see a clip of somebody being bullied, I don't hear anybody step up for these people. It wasn't there because this isn't about fixing toxicity. It's about looking good. So let's slow this down and actually talk about what happened, because once you watch the VODs, the story is a lot clearer than what the internet wants it to be. There were 3 main people involved, and they did very different things. First, Cece. Cece was the problem from the get-go, full stop. That's not really debatable. The tone, the attitude, the way she handled the situation, that's where a lot of the toxicity actually came from. Second was Lucy. She was kind of chilling, and then she wasn't, and she joined in, she got involved, got heated, said some toxic shit. I'm not going to pretend that she didn't, and the situation got worse. Third, Zaza. Zaza was the catalyst. She was a sniper. She was the Black Widow. She didn't swap. That's where the dominoes started falling. She wasn't roasting like the first 2 were. She mostly stayed quiet. I think really she got in trouble mostly after the fact, like after the whole ordeal went down, because she was saying things that didn't happen, or basically lying, long story short. And so yeah, the actual order of the events was Zaza didn't swap, Cece took it personally, Lucy got pulled into it, everything spiraled. Now here's the part that tells me that this is a witch hunt, not accountability that you're after. Notice the name that I have not mentioned yet, Casey Dilla. Casey Dilla was quiet the entire time. She didn't argue, she didn't pile on, she didn't escalate anything for the most part. And she's getting attacked. Literally, she's getting attacked just like she was any of the other girls. She had to make a whole post on Twitter explaining herself because people are coming at her neck for not speaking up. That is insane. And I'm saying this with the biggest smile on my face because it's just ironic. Not speaking up is not a crime. In fact, most of the time, most people need to shut the fuck up when they are not directly involved. Casey Dilla did nothing wrong. And here again is that irony that should be embarrassing for all of you. Casey Dilla handled this situation exactly the same way most of you handle toxicity in your own games. When someone gets harassed in front of you in a normal match, you stay quiet. You mind your business, you play the game, and you move on. There is too much proof out there to say otherwise. Casey Dilla is literally you on a normal day. But now you're attacking her for it. Where's all this energy in your actual games? Where are your tweets about the day-to-day racism? Where are your videos about throwers? All the stuff that I mentioned earlier. Where are your screenshots of random players are getting harassed? They don't exist, but now suddenly you care. That's the point. And like Casey Dilla, just like you, was quiet when she probably could have spoke up, right? To help out. That's how I know this isn't about bullying. It's just about momentum. Somebody has to be punished. You really want it to happen. And just to really drive it home, another reason I know that this is pure rabbit behavior is this. Lucy is making money off of y'all. She's not on Twitter playing the same game. She's on her Twitch. It's setting her chats to follower only or sub only, and you're paying. You're giving her money to talk shit to her. That is unhinged behavior. No matter how you justify it, you're wrong. You are paying someone to harass them. You are not a good guy in the story. Okay? You're not. You don't care about Kingsman. You don't care about the bullying. You wanted an excuse to go wild and feel righteous and get praised for it afterwards. Pat in the back, echo chamber that Twitter is and all other social medias. That's it. And yes, Zaza didn't swap. That's bad gameplay, but not swapping, again, it's not the same thing as sustained harassment. Stop trying to equate it and dragging Casey Dilla into this when she literally did nothing. That's when you really show what this is. This isn't accountability. Again, it's a witch hunt. And let me say this. You guys say that you want accountability, and that's why you guys are going so hard. But apologizing would have never solved any of these girls' situations right now. Don't lie, most of you people have been waiting to attack women in gaming forever. This just gave permission to do so without looking misogynistic. This all this is. Like, truly think about it. Look at all the comments in these threads. Look at all the people, all the content creators who have to make sure that they say just because all these people were women doesn't mean that you get to attack all women. Like, they shouldn't have to say that, but they have to because of motherfuckers that are witch hunting. Because y'all really, like, if these were men doing this, I promise you this conversation will not be happening. I promise you, not at the level that it is. We know that to be the case because toxicity happens every single day. So that brings me to the part where people really kind of just don't want to hear. This community enables toxicity, not just the ugly kind, like what we're dealing with, but the morally righteous kind too, which we're also dealing with. You laugh when random players get called slurs. I hear it. It's in streams. It's in my voice chats. Nobody speaks up. Okay. Again, it's not just me. It's everybody. But now all of a sudden you're outraged, and that tells me everything. This doesn't fix anything. This whole little charade that you guys are going on, this whole little crusade, it doesn't fix shit. It keeps the status quo. It lets real day-to-day toxicity skate right by while everyone gets to pat themselves on the back for being on the right side. And the punishment does not match the crime either. Actual predators, actual abusers, yeah, they deserve everything they get. And yes, there's a lot of them in the gaming world, but these girls do not touch that bar. It's not even close. And I guarantee that if the predators and these girls, they match their DMs, they're going to be looking very similar. I guarantee that the DMs that they are getting are worse than anything that they said. And if you think that's okay, you're part of the problem. This is not a new community being built. This is not an old community being bettered. It's the same one that it's always been. And it's one that feeds on outrage, thrives on chaos, and mistakes cruelty for accountability. And that's just the internet, I guess. But everybody's being performative. Everybody's enabling it. Everybody except maybe Kingsman. And hell, he's probably milking it too. And that's fine. He should. What's not fine is pretending that this is progress, because every single time this happens, it just gets worse and worse. And deep down, a lot of you love it. That's it.